90% of everything you own crossed an ocean. Your phone, your car, your clothes, even the food in your refrigerator. All of it likely traveled thousands of miles aboard massive floating machines called container ships. But something extraordinary is happening beneath the surface of global trade. The oceans themselves are becoming intelligent. Artificial intelligence is watching shipping lanes. Satellites track every container. Megaports move cargo faster than entire cities. And autonomous ships are beginning to sail the seas without crews. What used to be simple transportation is turning into the most advanced logistical network in human history. And the countries that control it may control the future of the global economy. Modern container ships are engineering marvels. The largest vessels on Earth can carry more than 20,000 shipping containers at once. If you lined those containers end to end, they would stretch for over 120 kilometers. Each ship weighs more than 200,000 tons when fully loaded. Yet these giants float because of a simple scientific principle discovered centuries ago. Buoyancy? According to Archimedes' principle, a ship floats when it displaces a volume of water equal to its own weight. But keeping a floating city stable in violent ocean storms requires far more than simple physics. Inside the hull are ballast tanks that fill with seawater. These tanks act like counterweights, stabilizing the vessel as waves move beneath it. Powering these giants are two-stroke marine diesel engines, some of the largest engines ever built. One engine alone can generate over 80,000 horsepower. That's enough power to move entire cities across the ocean. Navigation today is no longer based on paper maps. Ships rely on GPS satellites, radar collision systems, weather routing software, automated navigation computers. All of this works together to move the cargo that powers the global economy. But when one ship fails, the consequences ripple across the planet. In March 2021, the world witnessed a rare moment when global trade came to a halt. A massive container ship called the Ever Given ran aground in the Suez Canal. The ship became wedged sideways across the narrow waterway. For 6 days, one vessel blocked one of the most important trade routes on Earth. Over 400 ships were trapped, waiting on both sides of the canal. Oil shipments were delayed. Manufacturing supply chains stalled. And economists estimated that nearly $10 billion in trade was disrupted every single day, all because of one ship. The incident revealed something most people never think about. Global trade depends on a handful of narrow passages known as maritime choke points. And controlling those choke points can mean controlling the flow of the global economy. Several critical choke points dominate world shipping. The Panama Canal connects the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. The Strait of Hormuz carries a large portion of the world's oil supply, and the Strait of Malacca handles nearly a quarter of global maritime trade. If any of these routes were blocked, entire industries could grind to a halt. But the competition over trade routes is expanding into new territory. Climate change is opening new Arctic shipping lanes as polar ice melts. These routes could shorten travel times between Asia and Europe by thousands of kilometers, which means nations are racing to establish ports, infrastructure, and control in the Arctic. Because whoever controls the fastest routes controls global logistics, and logistics has always been the hidden engine of economic power. When ships arrive at port, the real logistical miracle begins. The largest ports on Earth operate like gigantic robotic factories. Among the busiest are Shanghai, Singapore, Rotterdam, Los Angeles. These ports operate 24 hours a day. Automated cranes lift containers weighing up to 60 tons. Self-driving vehicles move cargo across massive terminals. Artificial intelligence systems calculate where every container should be stored to minimize delays. In some ports, a container can be unloaded from a ship, sorted, and loaded onto a train or truck in under an hour. But if one of these megaports shuts down, global supply chains can jam almost instantly, which means ports are no longer just infrastructure. They are economic command centers. Now, a new revolution is beginning on the ocean. Autonomous cargo ships. One of the first examples is the Yara Birkeland, an electric container ship designed to operate with little or no crew. Instead of a captain navigating from the bridge, these vessels are monitored from shore-based control centers. Artificial intelligence processes data from radar sensors, cameras, GPS systems, weather satellites. The ship constantly analyzes its surroundings to avoid collisions and optimize its route. Supporters say autonomous ships could reduce accidents caused by human fatigue, They could also lower operating costs dramatically. But removing humans from the bridge introduces a new type of risk: cybersecurity. Shipping is responsible for nearly 3% of global carbon emissions. That may sound small, but it's roughly equal to the emissions of entire industrial nations. To reduce this impact, shipping companies are experimenting with cleaner technologies. Some ships are being designed to run on green methanol, others are testing ammonia or hydrogen engines, and some vessels are even returning to an ancient power source: wind. Modern rotor sails use spinning cylinders that generate additional thrust from the wind. Combined with new fuels and electric propulsion, the next generation of ships could become nearly carbon neutral. But even greener ships will still face the unpredictable dangers of the ocean, which is where artificial intelligence enters the picture again. Modern vessels are increasingly equipped with predictive maintenance systems. Sensors constantly monitor thousands of variables, including engine temperature, hull stress, fuel efficiency, navigation patterns. Machine learning algorithms analyze this data to detect problems before they happen. Instead of reacting to failures, AI predicts them. These systems can warn crews about mechanical issues days before they occur. They can also analyze weather patterns and automatically reroute ships to avoid dangerous storms. The goal is simple: prevent accidents before they ever happen. But as ships become more digital, they also become more vulnerable. In 2017, one of the world's largest shipping companies, Maersk, was hit by a devastating cyberattack. The malware shut down port operations across multiple countries. Computers controlling container terminals suddenly stopped working. Ships were unable to dock. Cargo could not be tracked. The company ultimately lost nearly $300 million. The incident exposed a frightening reality. Modern shipping depends on interconnected digital systems. A sophisticated cyberattack could disrupt oil shipments, food supplies, manufacturing, supply chains. The next maritime crisis may not come from a storm, but from a keyboard. Imagine an ocean where every ship is connected. Satellites track cargo in real time. AI systems automatically adjust routes based on weather and port congestion. Ocean drones monitor sea lanes for hazards. Autonomous vessels coordinate with robotic ports. In this future, the ocean becomes a living digital network. Trade becomes faster, supply chains become predictive, and logistics becomes the most powerful system shaping the modern world. The next era of global dominance may not be decided by armies or weapons. It may be decided by who controls the smart ocean. If you found this eye-opening, subscribe to Garage to Genius, because in Season 2, we explore the hidden systems powering the modern world: undersea internet cables, global energy grids, semiconductor supply chains, satellite dominance. The systems you never see are the ones controlling everything you do. Subscribe and follow for weekly deep dives into how the modern world really works.